Yes guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today and some more F1 2020 My Team Career Mode content. Today we are here for the finale of Season 1, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and I'm looking forward to it because it's a track that I don't mind too much, to be fair, especially if you've got a good setup and the car feels good. You're going to have some good pace around here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the AI are not as quick on this year's game as they were in previous years on 110 AI around here. Either way guys, I'm looking forward to it. If you guys are looking forward to it too, drop me a like. It really helps me out and it supports the channel. And without further ado, let's jump straight into the final race of the season. Now, if you guys missed the last episode of the Brazilian Grand Prix, you can go check it out, guys, by clicking the link up in the top right-hand corner of your screen. But in that race, Valtteri Bottas 3.0, clinched the World Drivers' Championship. He dethroned Lewis Hamilton in that race. And this weekend, we have no rain expected. Also, we have some big upgrades on the car. We have a major one for the chassis, a major one for the aerodynamics, and also a minor one for the engine, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz. So that means we overtake Haas, and we're now ahead of them by quite some margin, actually. And you can see on screen right now, we have already protected the upgrades that are meant to be changed in the regulation change next year. So we're not going to be going backwards at all, which is good news. We can only push forwards, and we've done a couple of major upgrades that haven't failed. So pretty much now on, guys, from now until the start of next season, we get to save up all of our R&D points, save up all of our cash, and we're going to be spending a lot of that later on today in this episode and also in future episodes, especially over the winter and the pre-season period, which we'll address in the next episode. But today we are here at practice in Yas Marina, and as always, guys, we tried to hit our targets, really. There were some targets set for the new R&D parts, but also, of course, because of our sponsor Sudu on the rear wing, the target is to finish top in any practice session or any session of the weekend. So we managed to just achieve that this weekend by less than a tenth. We got fastest in FP1 on the soft tires, and that does mean we hit our team goals. So we are going to get a nice cash bonus at the end of the episode. Also worth noting, R&D points, we get almost 700 points combined, and we're now up to 1,682. And also on the acclaim, a big boost for us as well, as we're now closing in on level 14 as a team, and Mick is slowly making his way up to level 9. So things are looking pretty promising heading into the qualifying session, the final qualifying of season 1. And you can see on screen right now, it's kind of, dusk, the night time is approaching, it's getting darker, which I absolutely love about this track. It's so unique, and it makes it for it feels like a special occasion, which I really love. But here we go, jumping into qualifying then. This was my first time lap, and there was a big mistake here where this left-hander, I just got it all wrong and ran really wide, got it way too hot on the brakes, and that cost me at least 0.2 of a second maybe. We then make our way through the final couple of corners as the car in front of us gets into the pit lane, and that's going to release us into clean air, leaving the front corner, keeping the car to the left-hand side, and we go about 0.6 off Lando Norris, which isn't too bad, to be fair. Pretty good pace. We then cut on to my second time lap, and this one was actually a good start. We started off really strongly, but then through the fast rail, turn 3, we get loose. It's going to be an ugly one, is it? No, it's not. We just about avoid major contact with the wall, and we just lose a bit of front wing, which was very fortunate. The repair time was quite small, and here we go then. My best lap of qualifying is coming up right now. The last qualifying lap of the season, guys. Abu Dhabi. Enjoy it, and I'll get back to you once the lap is over. There we go, out of the final corner, and the final lap of the season is done. We improved by about 0.3 of a second, which is pretty decent, and we go P17, so just shy of a Q2 spot, which is not too bad to be fair. The pace in the car was good, and Mick Schumacher as well, P18, so we out-qualified both Haas cars and both Williams cars, courtesy of course of the upgrades this weekend, and we weren't that far off the Alfa Romeos or the racing points to be fair, so we're looking pretty competitive here this weekend, which I really like. The upgrades have worked well, and to be fair, you know, the car felt great. There was more time in the lap, it wasn't perfect, and you know, we was mixing up with the big boys, so really happy with it. And I think on a perfect lap I maybe could have gone to Q2, but besides that, I'm happy. The upgrades have worked really well, and there's reasons to be confident heading into the race on Sunday, because it seems like we do have a good race car underneath us this weekend. But we're now going to move into an interview, and then we'll move into the race.
How do you think this team will be feeling after that result?
I'm not too sure. I don't know what their expectations are, but you know, McLaren are always a team that aim for, you know, the top in F1.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Not really. I personally don't remember hitting the wall, so I'm not quite sure what you meant, to be honest, Claire. I didn't hit anything from what I remember, to be honest. But anyway, that aside, we look at the team acclaim one more time before the race, and you can see now we're getting a little bit more, and we're now pretty much right in the middle between level 14 and 13, so we're slowly closing in. But we're now got the race on our hands, guys, the final race of Season 1. Hopefully we get a nice juicy acclaim boost at the end of it, and then we can use that moving into Season 2. But guys, qualifying is done. Let's get into the final race of Season 1 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
It's the final chapter of the season then here at the spectacular Yas Marina circuit. It's a race where the pole sitter failed to finish in 3 of the first 4 events. A front row start here is by no means a guarantee of victory, so we go into battle once more as we get underway at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The Yas Marina circuit, just over 3.4 miles long with 21 corners and 2 very long back straights. There are 2 DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both turn 8 and turn 11 and offer plenty of potential for overtaking. The circuit comes with its fair share of tricky corners as well, in particular 15, 16 and 17, which will certainly test a driver's braking management. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Now, I want to talk to you about Valtteri Bottas. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off with the title already in the bag.
It really is well-deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well-managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, and Perez, Stroll, Albon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Verstappen and Lando Norris, Kvyat, Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, and Giovinazzi. Raikkonen, Martinez, Mick Schumacher, and Roman Grosjean. Ocon, Russell, Latifi, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Yes guys, it's time for the finale of Season 1, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We do get a small benefit of a penalty from a car behind, therefore we start from P16, and I'm feeling confident about this one. I think there is some pace in the car. If I can hook the lap up in qualifying, I think we could have done a bit better. Having said that, our race pace traditionally is stronger. I think today's going to come down to strategy. Strategy is going to be really key in this race. And the one I'm going to go for is medium, soft. I think it's a pretty conservative strategy. You can do medium, soft, but the game is recommending this one. So I'm actually going to stick with it. I quite like it. I'll judge it how I see fit. So if the mediums do quite well, I'll use them again. If I'm not happy with them, I'll bin them off and go for a set of softs in the second stint. So, you know, there's room to adjust and kind of change the strategy a bit. The one thing for certain is that we're not going to use the hard tyres today, I don't think. Fuel-wise, we're going to run 1.5 laps extra. Pretty heavy because, again, it's the last race with this engine, so we can afford to use it and, you know, run rich mix and burn up the fuel. So let's see how we go. Hopefully we can score a big result. I'd love to score points in the final race. So let's see if we can make that a reality. It's time for the finale of Season 1, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Here we go then. Let's see as we get ready for one last 5 red lights, and away we go for the final race of Season 1. Not a bad start. We get away reasonably well. 3-1 in front. Ferrari, Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri in front. We're going to try and hold our line here, P15 for now, as we make our way up towards turn 2. Get a bit close there, a little bit frosty between Gasly and Leclerc in front of us. We're just going to kind of sit behind and watch. We've got one of the Haas cars behind looking for a move. I'm going to kind of put my car in the middle of the track to try and block any overtaking attempts. Can we go on the inside of Gasly here into the hairpin maybe? I'm going to have a look, but the line gets blocked off. We're going to try and open up the exit out of the hairpin and see if we can get a bit of a switchback. Not quite sure what our straight line speed is like around here, but we are now the worst engine on the grid, so we may struggle in that department a little bit in this race. Leclerc and Gasly side by side here as we go into the chicane. I'm going to just find a bit of space, really. That's all we can hope for. As one of the Haas cars tries to look down the inside. Leclerc's a bit slow on the exit. We're going to use that to try and get past and leapfrog the Ferrari. I'm trying to pull across to get a slipstream. Can we get Gasly as well? The 2-for-1 special. We're going to have to go to the outside. Around the outside of Pierre Gasly, running very, very wide into the corner apex and hot on the brakes, and we make it stick and we pull off a beautiful double move and up into 13th place, which is brilliant. Giovinazzi and Norris in front on medium tyres, so we'll bear that in mind in terms of our racecraft moving forward. If we can get ahead of these guys, that'd be awesome in terms of our strategy, being the lead car on mediums. Also, if I can put Giovinazzi behind me to give me a bit of cover. Gasly and Leclerc will be quicker than us at first, of course, on those soft tyres, so we need to try and put maybe a car between us to give us a bit of protection. But it looks like our straight line speed is a little bit lower around here, so we're going to have to also, factor that in terms of ERS and fuel deployment. But so far, so good. What a start. I'm very good on the brakes, actually. Pretty close to Giovinazzi. Can I get the exit out of here? Yes, I can. We might be able to get a position here. P12. You can see we're not even making a dent in terms of the straight line speed of the Alfa. We are going to go down the inside though of the Italian. Bit late on the brakes, but luckily no contact. It's a clean move. And we're up at the P12. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly what we needed. Lando Norris is up next. Let's see if we can close in on him a little bit. Try and stay within the RS range, as that will be enabled now in lap 3. I've got to say, we've got some pace here, boys. I'm on for a personal best. The car's working well. We've actually pulled away from Giovinazzi and out of the RS range. And we're now within the RS range of Lando Norris. So we're doing well. We're hanging in there. I'm really impressed. The car's working well around here. The setup is doing a good job. And these medium tyres, my first impressions are that they're a really good race tyre. So I'm happy with this. There's a bit of a train forming now. There's a racing point up ahead holding us all up. I think it's Stroll if I had to guess. But I think he's on soft tyres. He's holding us all up. We are actually on 2 personal best sectors there to start the lap off. So the pace is still very strong. We're actually pulling away from Gasly, and Leclerc can't get past the Frenchman either. So Leclerc's kind of stuck here at the minute. But we're now consistently within the RS range of Lando. So we're looking good here. I'm liking this. We're in a good position. The second highest medium tyre runner. This is exactly what we want. I want to see if I can try and leapfrog Lando though and get ahead of him. I think we can do that. Very close to Lando through here. The closest I've been. There's been a change. I think Danny Kvyat has overtaken, I'm guessing, Long Stroll. I can't tell who it is. I think he's actually on medium tyres. I caught a glimpse of it. I might be wrong. I think that racing point is on mediums. Oh no, not. It's on softs. Never mind. I was going to say I would have been quite surprised. But yeah, that Alfa Tauri has got past now. So that racing point is struggling for pace, it looks like. This racing point is struggling. It's Lance Stroll. He's just been overtaken by the Alfa Tauri of Kvyat, and now he's been overtaken by Albon. He's on those soft tyres, and now Norris is looking for the move. I want to try and get past because he's quite slow and we're falling back into Gasly. So I want to try and put away if I can. I think I can get past both of these guys, Stroll and Lando. I think we're quicker than the McLaren. In free air, Albon pits, as do a few of the others. I think Leclerc pit on the last lap as well in the Ferrari. Quite a few cars. Yeah, I'm definitely going to stick with these. This feels like a good tyre. I want to see if I can get ahead of the cars ahead though. Get past Lando and Stroll. Back and getting a bit loose now. Red tyre starting to let go. Gasly also getting within DRS range, which isn't going to help. Let's see if I can get a good exit out of the hairpin here. In third gear, trying to short shift, get a bit of extra rotation down. There we go. That's pretty tidy actually. That's quite nice. We'll be patient. We've got the other straight, of course, coming up. Lando's going to make a move on Stroll here. We're just going to sit back and let it happen. I've overcooked it a bit on the brakes, but that's okay. We'll get away with that. Switch back of dreams. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I think we're 3 wide here. It's going to be a straight drag race down towards the next corner. I think we've got the legs here, boys. Around the outside we go. Can we get this? Yes, we do. Double overtake. Beautiful stuff. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Good thing is as well, Stroll stayed ahead of Lando, so we get to pull away a little bit. Even though I'm expecting Stroll to pit this lap. I'm expecting all the remaining soft tyre runners to pit this lap. Oof, getting loose there. Oh wow, that Red Bull wasn't actually Albon, it was Verstappen, so Max must have had a grid penalty, I've just realised. Okay, the remaining cars now are in, so let's see where we go position-wise in this race. Tyres are starting to let go a bit now, I can feel these starting to fade. Definitely want to stay with the mediums for the next stint for sure. Stroll pits, we've got Hamilton in there, Verstappen as well. So we're going to move up into P4 in this race. Kvyat ahead on soft tyres, still staying out for another lap here. Kvyat in the pit lane. That's going to give us P3 in this race. Bottas as well in the pit lane, along with Sebastian Vettel. So we're going to take P1 for a lap. We're going to pit this lap for the mediums. Right, we're going to pit in this lap for the first of 2 scheduled pit stops. We're going to box for another set of mediums because they felt like a great race time that first stint. There was never really a period where I felt like the softs were much quicker. We managed to hold on quite comfortably in that first stint, so we're going to box for those tyres again. It seems like I have better pace than Lando as well, which is very encouraging. I say that we get loose on pit entry, but there we go. Right then, we shouldn't get held. We've got the last pit box, which is always a big advantage in races. A lot of the faster cars will go by, as you'd expect, and we're going to box for those medium tyres. Come on, boys, nice quick stop, please. We need that stop. 2.7, not ideal. We've had a lot quicker stops, not ideal. We're going to rejoin just ahead of Pierre Gasly, side by side. It's going to be close, but we're going to have the inside line into here. Can we stick with Stroll's DRS maybe and just hang in there? Yes, we do. So that's crucial. We get DRS off the racing point. If I can clear Stroll, we'll have some nice clean air to push into on these tyres. Let's see if we can get him on the second straight maybe. And we'll use this one with the DRS to try and close the gap a little bit, and then try and get the exit and get him out of the next one. Unless maybe the fresh tyres are making that racing point very quick again, which to be fair, it looks like it is. Trying my best, but we're nowhere near close enough, I don't think, to make a move on Stroll here. Yeah, we're not close enough just yet. We're going to have to sit behind for a little bit longer. Maybe on the next lap we'll get him. Giovinazzi in the pits. That's going to be +1 in terms of position for us. Up to P12. I've got to close the gap to Stroll here. Stroll's actually dropping me a little bit, and I'm dangerous to falling out of the DRS range. There we go, personal best, good pace from us. I think this could be the lap I get past Stroll. I'm a little bit closer now. More likely to challenge this time Gasly out of DRS range. Here we go then. Can we challenge on this lap? Can we get him on this straight maybe? I'm going to try and use the overtake tactically. Surprisingly, Stroll didn't go defensive there, but we're going to be super close out of this one this time. This should be the one. We should be able to get him this time with some overtake mode. Here we go. Gaining. Mercedes versus Mercedes engine. We'll pull to the inside. Make it an easy move. A little bit hot on the brakes, but that's okay. We do get the car slowed down. Purple sector 2. Right, P11. Albon's up next. Let's see if we can get after him. The pace is really strong today. Really impressive. Ooh, Leclerc in the pit lane. Off the soft tyres already. I can't tell if he pit already or hasn't pit. I don't know, but Leclerc in the pit lane. That was an interesting timing on that one. We're now up to P10. In the points, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I've got to say, Kvyat is running at a great pace in the AlphaTauri in front of us. Albon can't catch him, and he's, in a Red Bull, so it goes to show how well that car is going. Gasly as well was pretty strong in pace-wise. We're still doing a good job here, though. We're pulling away from Stroll bit by bit. The gap is slowly going up. I just hope we can get a bit closer to some cars ahead, so when we're on the soft tyres later, we'll benefit a lot from those. Okay, we've got Hamilton in the pit lane. He's about to leave the pit exit now. It's going to be close between me and him, to be fair. But we are going to rejoin ahead of the Mercedes. But it looks like he's going to be right behind us. And probably getting by straight away on the back straight, most likely. Let's stay on board here and let's see if Lewis does challenge us here on the back straight. To be fair, if it's not this first one, it'll definitely be the second one. As I get a bit of white there, just clipping the marbles a little bit. Here he comes, fresh medium tyres. This should be pretty straightforward for him. I'll let him go by and we'll try and get the DRS on the next straight. I think play it tactical, you know. That's the best way to not lose any time. Ooh, nice amount of cars in the pit lane. Yep, we'll be on the softs. Quite a few cars in the pit lane that lap. Up to P5 we go. Obviously it's only temporary, but still. All those guys out on medium tyres. We've got Seb Vettel behind us in the Ferrari. He's going to be the next one to get by as well. Just like Hamilton last lap. He's going to want to slice at the action and he's going to want to get by us. Norris has overtaken Stroll as well for good measure. So he's going to be sticking with us for the rest of the race. It does feel like Stroll's just lacking pace overall. Here comes Seb. I'm going to keep the car in standard engine mode. Use a little bit of overtake instead this time. But try and get the slipstream and the DRS from the Ferrari heading on to the next straight. There we go. That's perfect. Okay, Albon pits. Looks like he's just the only car in the pit lane this lap. So we're going to move back up to P5. We're going to box next lap. So 2 more to go. This one and 1 more. Try and keep the pace up if we can. Okay, Danica Fiat pits now. He's had a really good race.
We're boxing this lap.
Yep, we're going to box this lap for the soft tyres. Really impressive Fiat though. That AlphaTauri's gone very well here today. Don't know what tyre he went for. We didn't get a chance to see.
Nick is coming in for his stop.
Lando's closing in. The last couple of laps or so, he just picked up the pace a little bit on the worn tyres. He has better pace than me, I think. But I'm faster on the fresh ones. So let's just try and stay out of DRS range until we pit this lap. Right, it's time for a second stop. As we go through the hotel section. Our final, hopefully final pit stop of the season here. We're going to box for the soft compound tyres from P4. Let's hope we drop into the points. I'd love to score a point today. That would be insane, but I'm not going to hold my breath. We just don't know what other cars are doing strategy-wise. Right, there we go. Pretty okay pit entry, a little bit scruffy in areas, but I've had worse. Bottas pitting as well that lap apparently. We're going to box now for soft tyres. I think Norris and Kimi will do the exact same strategy, so we're going to have to keep those guys behind us as well. Here we go.
Go now.
That's better, 1.8, that's what I'm talking about. Well done, boys.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
The last stop was 2.7, that was almost a full second quicker. And there is Gasly on fresh mediums. He's managed to undercut, also Stroll as well, they've both managed to undercut Lando and Norris. So there we go, that's good news for us, because Lando, of course, on those soft tyres, he's going to be, you know, pretty damn quick. So we're P11, just on the cusp of points. We're about 6 seconds away. Fiat and Albon up the road. Those two will probably start battling soon. So we've got to try and make up 6 seconds in about, let's say, 7 laps, which is going to be tricky. These tyres will go off quite quickly, so it's going to be a tall order to score points, but I'll give him my best shot. Oh, Giovinazzi in the pit lane. So we are going to get a top 10 then. That's great news for us.
Be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
That is really good news. So we're up into the top 10. So we're on course to score a point in this race. We've pulled away from Gasly by about a second on that out lap, which is pretty damn good. There's 4 cars ahead of us. They're all battling for position. So this could get tasty still. I don't think it's over just yet. All I've got to hope for is that these soft tyres hold on. If they do, we could maybe pick something up here. Bottas just did a 34.3, new fastest lap. Let's see how far off the pace we are. I'll tell you what, 34.8, that is not bad at all.
Turbocharger is on his last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
Exactly, it's everyone on a worn engine, you know, only half a second off a Mercedes-Benz. That is not bad at all. Gap to Gasly now 3.3 pretty much. We are closing in on the cars ahead, but not by as much as I'd hoped for. I need them to battle, which is not happening at the minute. Yellow flag behind us. Someone's had an incident.
Green flag.
Unfortunately, it's not in front. I was hoping for it to be in front of us, but that's not been the case. Esteban Ocon in the Renault out of the race. Will there be another late safety car like we've had in the last few races? Looks like there won't be, which I don't mind, because we're in a good position here, and I don't want to have another stressful last couple of laps. I want to bring this one home in peace. As looks like Sainz has been overtaken by Alex Albon here in the Red Bull. So there is some battling going on ahead of us. 3 laps to go. Pace is still pretty decent. We're not catching on front anymore, but we're keeping the gap behind. So 4-second gap. We're 3 laps to go. I can kind of chill out now a little bit and focus on bringing this one home. This point is going to taste so sweet. I did not expect us to get points here this weekend, but the upgrades have worked out and the car has been very competitive. Here we go then, into the final sector then for the final time on the final lap of Season 1. It's been a great debut season for us as the fireworks go off for Valtteri Bottas who has won the championship already. Of course, he won in the last episode, and he wins here today in Abu Dhabi. So congratulations to him, fully deserved. Meanwhile, we're going to bring home a P10 and a points finish home in the final race in what has been a great debut season for the team. Of course, picking up that iconic win in Singapore and some really strong finishes elsewhere. A couple of P5s, a couple of P6, but we end the season in the points, and I'll take that. Get in.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
It's been a roller coaster season then, but they can go into the winter with their heads held high after an emphatic victory here today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
And I could see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Well then guys, there we go, the results are in and it's all confirmed. Bottas picks up the win ahead of Lewis Hamilton. They were both covered by 0.8 of a second, so it went down to the wire, but Bottas picks up the win and the fastest lap here today for Mercedes. And of course he boxed for that soft tyre at the end, and that seemed to pay the difference to him and give him the race win. Sebastian Vettel P3 for Ferrari, Daniel Ricciardo P4 in the Renault. What a race from him. Really good performance from the Aussie ahead of Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Alex Albon, Carlos Sainz, Danica Fiat, and we finish up in P10. Pierre Gasly misses out on the points along with Lance Stroll, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc only P14, a pretty miserable race for him on a 3-stop strategy. Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Schumacher, Grosjean, Magnussen, Russell, Latifi, with Ocon out of the race. Schumacher there beating both Williams and both Haas cars to be fair, which is pretty good to see. And then moving into the final standings for the final time this season, we finish season 1 in P9, which is absolutely awesome. A really strong first season, and I'm really happy with that one. I did not expect to get to the top 10, but the win at Singapore suddenly made it very possible, and we've taken it from there. So really happy to see that. Constructors wise, we finish up in P7, and in the end I believe it was actually pretty close to McLaren and only about 38 points off. So in the end, we wasn't that far away, and a really big one for us, bringing home all of the points, of course, 80 points in my name, and hopefully Mick can improve next season. That's going to be the key area. You know, whether we stick with Mick or we get a new teammate, and if we stick with Mick Schumacher, will he improve? You know, that's the thing we've got to kind of watch out for. But either way, guys, that is it for the race here at Abu Dhabi. We're now going to move into the laptop and all the negotiations, you know, all the facilities, the R&D points, bonuses, all that kind of stuff that happens after Abu Dhabi. And let's kind of set things up for Season 2. Okay, so there we go, looking at the team acclaim after the final race in Season 1. We are now well on our way to being level 14 as a team, and we are very close to level 11 as a driver. Mick also on his way to level 9. We hit all of our gold bonuses, which is absolutely massive, so 1.19 million. There was a small damage deduction due to our crash in Q1, which was a shame, but generally it's a good day for us, and we're now over $10 million, which is absolutely massive. Okay, so first order of business. Contract renewal time. Do we stick with Mick? Do we move elsewhere? We have got him up to 69 overall, which is pretty decent. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think I'm going to stick with him. Reason being is because I want to direct the funds towards improving the car. I feel like we need to make a step forward. We are still, you know, bottom 3. We've been there all season, so I feel like it's time we really progress. So Mick is going to be a very safe option and quite financially secure moving forward. It's pretty chill, you know. Mick demands $3 million, so we'll go for the $3 million. That's what he wants, that's what we'll give him. Very straightforward, hopefully he agrees, and the answer is declined. Wow. Really? Interesting, okay. Getting a bit too big for your boots there, good old Mick. Okay, interesting. The offer has changed slightly. The medium risk has now gone up to 3.05, so surely he'll take that. Please don't reject that, Mick. Come on. Okay, there we go. Job done. Mick resigns. A little bit bumpy, but we got there in the end. Now let's assign a few activities on the timeline. We have a 3-day period before a press interview, and then we have a few more days before the end of the season. So let's have a look. Of course, the engine is going to be worked on over the winter due to the regulation change, so we're going to avoid the power equipment upgrade. There's no real point in doing that. Looking at other options, we've got a second driver PR filming, which is pretty good, and driver promotion filming. So looking at those, I am tempted to do both of those in this sort of 3-day period. Or to be fair, I didn't realize that one was a 3-day period, so my bad. We'll do reaction training instead. And after that, we will do a sponsor event, in-depth factory tour. It will help the team acclaim a lot, which would help. But then again, do we work on other areas? You know, we'll go for that one. We'll go for that one. That's fair. I think that's going to help the team out quite a lot. So activities have been assigned. As you can see, we've got a pretty full schedule, but we're not done yet. Let's go over to the facilities. So we have 7.84 million. Of course, we have to re-sign Mick. Therefore, we've lost a bit of the, what we had financially. It's not as much money as I'd like. You know, buying one of these facilities is going to set me back pretty much on all of my budget. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to look at the best option for us. And if we go to the R&D tree, let's see what our weakest side is. So aerodynamics, we are 4th from bottom. Chassis, we're 3rd from bottom. So the chassis still needs work. So what we'll do is, we'll go facilities, we'll go over to the chassis. And the fabrication, I'm going to buy level 2. Reason being is because that's going to enable us to make a lot of upgrades next season. So we'll buy that. That will be on the way for December 11th. We'll keep the rest of the money as we now move over to the R&D tab. Let's buy a couple of upgrades over here. So first and foremost, chassis-wise, we're going to go for this major weight reduction one for the engine cover. We're going to get that on the car straight away. That will arrive on the 25th of February, which is quite a way away. And then we've got enough points for maybe a minor upgrade, possibly. Let's see if we can afford one of these. Maybe we can't. Maybe it's a bit too expensive. Yeah, it's a bit too expensive. So we'll hang on those points for now. What we'll do, in the meantime, we'll simulate all the way until the press interview.
Here we are in the HQ of our newest Formula 1 team. We've got an awful lot to talk about, so let's jump straight in. Your team's had their first win in Formula 1. Is this a sign of things to come?
I think so. I think, we're excited about next season. I think there's a lot of things we want to get done. So, we want to get up there. We want to be up on the podium. We want to be winning races and competing with the very best. So, we're going to be trying to get up there. So get used to it because there's more to come.
You seem to be stuck in the mid-tier at the moment. Are you happy here, or will you be aiming to challenge the top teams in the near future?
I wouldn't say we're stuck. You can't go from rookie to legend without passing through the mid-tier. It takes time. It's a process.
Your second driver really seems to be improving at a rapid pace. How dedicated are they?
They're very dedicated. It could be better. I hope T would improve a little bit more. I think as a team we can always aim for more. But I'm happy with Mick's performance this season so far. But we also demand dedication from all of our staff, not just Mick.
Do you see your relationship with your second driver being long-term, or will you be looking for someone else if you're successful?
I mean, it's very simple. Results are what we're looking for. It's the results business. That's what F1 is all about. So, for sure, we're looking at those results. And if they're good, he's staying at the team.
Would it be safe to say that in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team?
Not necessarily. We've got to consider, what's best for the championship. At the moment, my chances are better, but generally, there's no team orders in the team.
Well, thanks so much, as ever, for your time. It's hugely appreciated.
Right, guys, so there we go. It looks like, unlike previous F1 games, there is no end-of-season bonus, it looks like, which is quite interesting, actually. I was quite surprised to see that. Normally you get an R&D points bonus or something, but we haven't got that. The good news is our cash has gone up to 95 million now, so almost at $4 million, so we'll bear that in mind for next season. But crucially, we have just about enough R&D points for one final upgrade, so we're going to work on the aero this time, and we're going to go down to the drag reduction, and we're going to be able to afford that so that will arrive hopefully for the 25th of February before the start of the season, and that leaves us with pretty much 157 points, which is nothing. We've protected all of our upgrades heading into next season, so we've got a few things in the pipeline. Now it remains to be seen what other teams have done over the winter, and we've put the the foundations in place for next season. So hopefully it all goes according to plan. But guys, that is going to be it from me at the end of season 1 here in Abu Dhabi, and I can't wait for the start of season 2, guys. If you're excited, drop me a like and subscribe if you are new, and hopefully season 2 is going to be really, really positive. But guys, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys in my next one very soon. But until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.